everyone. My name is Shawn Galloway. I'm the president of ProAct Safety, where since 1993, we focused on 4 key areas to help organizations on their journey to excellence in safety. That's strategy, culture, leadership, and employee engagement through behavior-based safety. I'd like to share a model today that's worked very successfully with hundreds of groups around the world to help start the dialogue within their own company. Where are we on the journey to excellence and safety? What do we focus on to get us there and, of course, to stay there? This particular model is called the Bridge to Safety Excellence. Now, as I walk you through the components of this model, I'd like or ask you to reflect on where are we in our company? Are we fully there? Do we have half of the components? Or are we really all the way there? Now, all the way there, excellence and safety. I define excellence and safety of having to have 3 main components. Now, I'd argue if you don't have these 3 components, you're truly not excellent in safety. One is the ability to get and repeat great results. Now, lagging indicators, much to the chagrin of many of us, are still going to be part of how we define excellence and safety for the foreseeable future. So those organizations that go years without injuries, those teams that just continue to outperform and dominate year after year, season after season. So the ability to get and repeat great results. The second part, I think, is the hardest part, and that's knowing precisely what's leading to our results. If we've had a better performance, what can we point to with confidence to say why? Or if we've slipped in performance this year, what can we point to that explains why? If we don't know what's leading to our results, we shouldn't feel confident when we have improved results that we're there because we're doing the right things and that we're going to sustain that performance. Too much luck is involved if we can't point to what's leading to the results. And then that third part is a mindset that regardless of how good we are, we can always be better. We've had organizations, it's just terminology, but the language we use shapes our decisions. They've discontinued using the term best practice in lieu of the term better practice because their concern is if we adopt a best practice, we might stop looking for a better way. There's always going to be a better way to do things. So the ability to get and repeat great results, knowing precisely what's leading to those results, and then a mindset that there's always opportunities for continuous improvement. So as organizations have tried to span this gap, to build their bridge to cross it, one of the first components that they've put in place is management's initial responsibility. In the United States, at least since 1970, and that's compliance. Making sure we're doing the minimal necessary, because that's all compliance is, the minimal necessary to keep people safe. It's important, but it's the minimal necessary. Now, what we've put in place to stabilize this is we have to have rules. Those are important, and we have to have consistent enforcement of those rules. Well, let's pause with that for a second. How good are we enforcing the rules? What's the language we use? What's the experience with the workforce? Yes, there needs to be something that's said if somebody's not following the rule. We need to figure out why. But we also need to say something when they are. Are we doing a good job proactively enforcing the rules? And is that a good conversation? I'll never forget a company that had about 1,000-person operation in America, and they asked me to assess their culture. They'd had good performance, but they felt as though culturally they were going in the wrong direction. So they asked me to come in and take a look. I have led hundreds of safety culture assessment projects, but I will never forget what this one lady said to me at this site. We were interviewing a group of workforce. There was 8 people in this particular focus group setting, just from the hourly workforce. And we got on the topic of safety conversations. And I asked them, so what are the conversations about safety like? What do you guys talk about? And I'll never forget what this one lady said to me. She said, quote, "You know, in a few months, I'm going to retire after 30 years here. The only time they've ever talked to me about safety is when I've done something wrong. Just once before I retire, I wish they'd tell me when I've done something right." Think about that lady's experience with safety. It was a conversation you avoid, not something you seek out. So we have to make sure we're focusing on compliance. It's always going to be important, but we realize the limitation of this piece when we answer the question, can our employees obey all the rules, follow all the procedures, wear all their personal protective equipment, and still get injured? Of course they can. These are the things we put in place to address the high severity, the high probability types of events. But we have to go further than this. We have to involve the workforce. Dr. W. Edwards Deming taught us that people support what they help to create. If we want a culture of excellence and safety, the workforce has to be involved in the creation of it, because change happens best from within. To stabilize this piece, we have to have a focus, and we have to have a reinforcement of that focus. Now, Terry Mathis, my business partner, and he's the CEO and founder of our company, we stay up late at night because we don't think there's enough acronyms in safety, so we stay up late at night trying to develop new ones. Kidding aside, focus to us is an acronym for forming one common understanding of safety. What are people focusing on? What are the most important things above and beyond the rules, policies, and procedures? What are people focusing on, and what are the systems that reinforce that focus within? What people do when the boss isn't around is a part of everybody's culture. So what gets focused on, and what's the reinforcement in the absence of those that can do the enforcement? So how good of a job are we focusing, and is it laser-like on the most important things? Now, we have to manage compliance, but leadership, as we know, is about influence. It's about encouraging people to go above and beyond, do more than just what's required to collect the paycheck, go home. Are we building the importance of trust between the levels in the organization, between the groups? I remember reading in the book, How Full Is Your Bucket? They said that building trust was like filling a bucket full of water, a drip at a time. It takes a long time to do so, but it's pretty easy to accidentally kick it over and have to start all over again. So how are we on trust? Are we creating a real sense of teamwork? If you have winners and losers on your team, or politics on that team, that's a committee. That's not a team. Teamwork means we're all in this together. We're not going to allow anyone to fail regardless of who they are. Are we creating a real sense of teamwork in our organization? Are we managing our failure rate? Now, that's part of the lagging indicator, but what we know is as our performance improves, before it hits zero injuries, it loses its statistical significance. No longer are we able to chase trends or these random data points that are out there. Plus, if that's the number, our incident rate we're using to try to motivate the workforce, that's like saying, all right, folks, I want you to work harder the rest of the year to fail less. Not very motivating. We have to identify the performance that explains the absence of the injuries. What performance would be common that would explain why we've had no injuries? And we need to influence that performance, because it's above and beyond the rules, policies, and procedures you have to try to control. How good of a job are we influencing this? Plus, if you can define excellence in safety more than just results, but also behaviorally, that means you can observe it, you can measure it, and most importantly, you can coach for it. You can't coach for results. You have to coach for the performance that leads to the results. So think about this model. Where are you on the creation of the bridge to safety excellence? Talk about this with others. Share this video with others in your organizations and get together and have the conversation, where are we? Now, I never direct people how to talk about this model. They usually talk about it in a couple of different ways. They'll talk about it as the bottom components versus the top, the left versus the right, and some groups give a percentage of completion to each one of these components. Well, we're 90% there on rules, but we only enforce half of them. Where are you on the journey to safety excellence? And how can you use the bridge to safety excellence to start that conversation within your organization? I'm honored to share this with you. I hope it's been helpful. I hope it's a good tool that starts great dialogue within your organization. Please visit our websites, check out our content. We put more in the public domain than anyone because the hard work has to be done within the organization. So visit our YouTube channel, visit our LinkedIn sites, contact us, connect with us, share anything with us that you think would be important for you to talk about, because we'd love to create additional content to help you with some of the issues that you might be facing in your organization. If there's anything that we can do to support your efforts in your journey to excellence and safety, please feel free to contact us. I wish you a wonderful, safe day.